A 41-year-old who has a degree from an Oxford college and a master's in taxation and is qualified as a solicitor took his parents to court because they limited the financial support they give him after a family fight. You see, they let him live rent-free in a £1 million apartment, cover his utilities and give him £1,500 a month, but it's not enough. And arguably more absurd than that is the small element of the law that this case was decided on. In what has been described as a first-of-its-kind test case in the UK, he got top human rights lawyers to represent him in a legal landmark bid to force his enormously wealthy parents to pay him maintenance for life, according to the Daily Mail. For years, they've given him handouts and put him up rent-free in a £1 million flat that they own near Hyde Park. However, this case is not his first time in court either. Apparently, he even sued Oxford University over his failure to get first-class honours, but he lost that case. In that case, he claimed that the tuition was boring and contained appallingly bad teaching and that staff going on extended sabbatical leave contributed to him not achieving the first-class degree that he wanted, which also cost him from getting a place in a legal course at a top US Ivy League university, denying him the high-flying legal career that he wanted. In that case, his legal team valued his loss of earnings claim at £1 million. And for some reason, that case was surprisingly thrown out as the judge said that his tuition was of a perfectly adequate standard. However, the judge did say that a severe episode of hay fever may have also contributed to his failure to get the grades that he wanted. Despite suffering through that degree and not getting the marks that he hoped for, he did work at a top legal firm and also even worked as a tax advisor at Ernst & Young. However, he's been unemployed since 2011 and his parents have been giving him money for over 20 years, which changed after a falling out with his parents. And in court, his side argued that his parents' handouts had nurtured his dependency on them and that by cutting their financial support, the state would be forced to deal with the consequences. The first court case was initially kicked out by the family court, which created the opportunity to appeal to the country's top judges in a test case. Test cases are brought to court as a means to provide a clearer definition to laws with disputed meaning or intent. His barrister argued that under the Children's Act, he is entitled to maintenance because he is a vulnerable adult due to health issues, and that because the law only allowed an adult to make a claim if the parents are no longer living together, this is a human rights violation and society has moved on and things are different now somehow. Maybe even more absurd than a 41-year-old suing his parents for maintenance is that it appears that if his parents were split, this would have been a different outcome. The judge's ruling said it is the considered policy of Parliament that parents may only be ordered to provide support to their adult children in the context of relationship breakdown, and there should be no general discretionary power to require the provision of such support outside that context. So to me, as someone who's clearly not a legal expert, but that sounds like he is saying if parents are split, then a 41-year-old can demand more than £1 million apartment covering utilities and $1,500 a month. Do you think his human rights have been violated? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, chuck me a like and subscribe for more like it. And if you made it this far, you'll enjoy one of these other videos too.